take them as an example and be like, oh, see, look how violent and destructive these protesters are. You know, oftentimes those are feds, like professional provocateurs that work for the federal government. That intentionally, like, their full-time job is to disrupt left-wing organizing and civil rights organizing. Another thing that's politically relevant that I wanted to talk about is it really does seem like the Minneapolis protests are the next big, like, wave of protests, you know, in more so than No Kings, which has been revealed to be totally dickless. It reminiscent of how there were plants in Black Lives Matter and how there are many feds planted in leftist movements. Recently, people got on footage in Minneapolis, federal agents that were planted in the crowd to agitate in the protests, so that the news media can take them as an example and be like, oh, see, look how violent and destructive these protesters are. You know, oftentimes those are feds, like professional provocateurs that work for the federal government. That intentionally, like, their full-time job is to disrupt left-wing organizing and civil rights organizing. One such person was like revealed at one of these Minneapolis protests, where they like you know, they were saying, like, yeah, why did you do such and such? I think it was like one of the guys that, like, burned an American flag or something. Protesters don't typically do that, as, you know, as a matter of good optics and also just a matter of sentiment. A lot of people care very deeply about this country. So this, like, they caught up to this one fed, and there was his partner was there, like his partner in crime, I guess you could say. A lot of these federal agents operate in pairs, where there will often be one person to disrupt the goings-on of a particular organizing group, and then another one to basically cover for them, to say, like, no, he's legit whenever they are accused of something, you know. And like, there was one guy saying, like, no, he's legit, he's with us, right? Like, he's part of the protest or whatever. And then, like, not but 1 minute later, an ICE van rolls up, and, like, some ICE agents come out of the car, walk directly up to that guy who was, like, suspected of being a fed, and said, yo, are you alright? Like, are you good? And he was like, yeah, I'm good. And then they just walk to the van nonchalantly and get in. And, like, it's not super common that we get footage of this, like, such unambiguous footage of this happening, because a lot of times these federal agents are trained well enough to just not say anything when they're challenged. So they maintain at least the veil of secrecy enough that you can't really determine which part of the federal government they're working for. But this particular guy, like, it didn't matter in that instance. Let me see if I can even, I want to find that video. Bro didn't even learn the lesson of public view. To be fair, they probably would have accepted that he was one of the protesters if ICE didn't immediately roll up and collect him, essentially. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, it's like, it's not super common to get footage of that just outright, but it has been happening for a very long time. Like, it is a known quantity, and has, been standard for a very long time that federal agencies have plants in various left-wing organizing groups and protest movements to disrupt their activities and to try to inhibit them from achieving their goals. That's actually, to my recollection as well, that's literally why the FBI was created. The FBI's job is not necessarily to investigate crime and terrorism. Their job is to disrupt left-wing protest movements and left-wing organizing movements, largely by way of surveillance and plants and, like, sowing discord and disinformation and that sort of thing.
Later.
Billy Ford for Minnesota says, need proof the federal government is planting agents in our streets to instigate a confrontation. Confrontation, I don't know why I pronounced it like that. Here you go. Moments ago from BG on the scenes coverage in Minneapolis. Brendan Guttenschwager. Okay. On the scene, documenting history. Very cool. Thank you. Let's have a look. Oh, that's quite loud. -20. That should be good. See here, they're saying, let him up, let him up. They've let up, you know. See, he's, and now he's like, just laying there. He could be getting up. I don't know how badly, I don't think he's actually hurt, but, you know, he's definitely hamming it up because that sells the narrative. And there's the second man. It's a two-man team. He said he's one of us. I guess in that respect, he's correct. But the one of us in this instance is feds. So you have this guy who was the instigator, the actual person that's supposed to go and start shit. And then the guy who's shouting, he's one of us, is the guy that's part of the team that's supposed to basically occupy this role. When they start some shit, they say, no, he's one of us.
You all right, dude? He's one of us. How do we know? How we know?
Yep. And people are saying, how do we know?
Why you get ran out earlier? I don't know. He's one of us. I'm with them. Trust me.
And oh, look, an unsuspecting white van. And he keeps his cover, and his cover is blown. Yeah, that's true. I didn't want to assume too much, because if you get laid out flat on your back like that for whatever reason, it might actually take you a second to get up. And see here, ICE pulls up.
Back up.
And
Yeah, save your Nazi. Put him in your Nazi van. Go get him some help. He needs a little bit of fucking mental health there. Don't he? Nobody got guns. Yeah, you gonna look me in the eye when you spray me? You gonna look me in the eye?
there you go. Shout outs to the cameraman being based. You know, rescue your little Nazi, put him in the Nazi van. This is actually a historically exemplary video of this happening. Direct video documentation of a two-man Fed team that was sent to infiltrate a left-wing protest. And how do we know they're feds? The feds came and just picked them up. No hassle, no like shoving to the ground, no cuffing, no nothing. And the new thing is just that we have video of it now. It's been happening for a long time, and it's actually really nice to see that the crowd was actually pretty aware that this was a thing that could be happening. That like, hey, you might be the fucking feds infiltrating the protest, right? I believe that was the guy that burned an American flag and then just walked away. Spy from TF2 is in fact real. That's true. There's the spy has already breached our defenses. The other guy after this vid is going to get his cover blown off Insta if anybody is persistent enough to search who he is and what he does on the movements. That's true, but it's kind of difficult to say because you kind of see his face here, this guy. But I don't know who this guy is. If somebody was at the protest, they'd probably have a better idea of who this guy is. Oh, Oh yeah, this person's bringing up the other example of this. This one we didn't see the second man from the two-man team, but there was an umbrella guy at the BLM protests. He was the sole person doing property damage. Basically, all the broken windows on storefronts in Minneapolis, like broken car windows and that sort of stuff, was done by one guy who was sent there by the feds to infiltrate the protests and make them look bad. And that is all the news talks about. Guys around in there will probably spot him. Yeah, and they did. There's video of the umbrella guy going and breaking windows. And they're like, hey, like actual protesters go up to him and be like, hey, stop fucking doing that. And he looks wildly out of place too. I wonder if anybody comments on the second guy. Oh yeah, see here's the picture from the BLM protest. This is the guy dressed in all black with a gas mask on, or a respirator at the very least, and busting windows. So, okay, people are addressing the who's one of us, but like in my opinion, this person's more close to like being on the money. That like, what about the he's one of us guy, right? That's so true. Why is dating hard for guys? That's true. That's so fucking true. People should take notes from this. Also, okay, as much as this is the punchline of a joke, this is a real social force that will contribute to the normalization of hating the far right again, of like being anti the far right and being on the left, which is that all these fucking guys, Trump, Vance, Tesla, Thin Blue Line, Nazi, Confederates, whatever, they're all basically the same and they're all completely unfuckable, dysfunctional losers. You know? And yeah, here's a iteration on this is true too. This one's true. And so is this one. But yeah, this person actually points out that the like he's one of us guy, you can see here, he slinks back into the crowd. Let's see, where's the point where it's the guy with the cardboard sign here. He's the guy that was insisting he's one of us. You can see Ice pulls up and watch him fade back into the crowd. Just to make sure that his cover isn't blown and so that he can do this again. Like actual dyed-in-the-wool federal agents. I do wonder, like, again, I'm kind of looking here to see if anybody knows much about the other guy who was saying he's one of us. How many he's one of us guys are deployed as backup? A good question. Usually it's like two-man teams. Sheriff Department. So it looks like people are catching on to the fact that, like, so people probably are aware that that guy saying he's one of us is also a Fed, but it doesn't look like anybody knows who that guy is. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. They don't know who he is. I wouldn't know where to start looking for that guy. For news outlets, I love I would love to encourage people to look up a lot of the guests that are on news outlets. They're like, oh, here's the expert on this issue, right? because you do like 5 minutes of searching, you go to Wikipedia, and they're like deep state ghouls. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, even donate to support the channel. It would really mean a lot to me.